All right, it's my first attempt at actually talking on YouTube. I've only posted shorts up until now, but I figured I'd make a meet recap for this weekend. So if you guys don't know, my name is Cole. I'm a USAPL powerlifter. I just went into my third meet this weekend, actually. So last Saturday, I'm 100 kilograms. You don't know, I'm 6'4", so I'm kind of a taller guy. Not very many people at those meets besides me and my roommate. Actually, we're probably like one of the only guys that were like that tall. It was just me and him. He's 6'6", so he makes me look like a baby. So I'm just chilling in my room. I'm gonna go over meet details. So rolled up to the place. It was like early in the morning. Limitless gym in Appleton. From Wisconsin. And essentially what ended up happening is I went in there to handle another one of the people that we work out with. Her name's Maddie. She was competing in the morning with the women, and then I believe they had the lighter weight classes for dudes going on the other platform. They had two platforms at once. So there's a red one that was in the back room, and there's a blue one in the front room. Handled her. She went 9 for 9. She kicked ass. It was awesome. Good to watch. And yeah, it was super duper energetic, which was really cool. A lot of people came out to support, which was really cool. They even had like a Euro truck outside for people to eat, which was pretty cool. Other than that, headed into weigh-ins, was a little bit tired. I ate some food ahead of time because I knew I weighed in, like I was going to weigh in light. I weighed in around 213-ish, and everything felt good. I was like really hydrated. I drank my Pedialyte in the morning. Everything felt good going into it. My knees were a little tired because I was standing around, but I'm not going to use that as anything. Like it was smooth all the way through. Nothing bad was going on. Felt great. I was just ready to go at that point. Like I was like, let's just get this up and up. Keegan went first. It was my roommate. 6'6" roommate, absolute giant, like 800 feet tall. He looks like a oak tree or something. But so then what happened is warm-ups started, and we kind of pushed him into warm-ups, and he went out there and he executed his like opener was 331. He ended up going up to like 363. I don't have the kilogram calculations right now. Then it was my turn to squat, and I was opening around 512. Warm-ups felt really good. I took my last warm-up around 496, and that was like, it looked stupid fast. I had no idea. Like even my coach, Will, shout out Coach Will, but he was like, whoa. And I was like, here we go. I'll put the footage of 512 in here in a second.
I'm gonna smoke this thing right here. Come on. Let's go, buddy. Show me. Easy stuff right here. There you go. Get tight. Let that bar settle. Big win. Let's go, buddy.
Let's go.
Super duper nervous heading into there. First attempts for me, like after the squat, I'm fine. I'm ready for business. But this whole, like when you're heading in your first attempt, you got the butterflies going. You feel sick to your stomach just the slightest bit. You're like, oh God, I hope I don't bomb this, because then it's going to be a rough day. Yeah, got out there, let the bar settle. Felt really light, like abnormally light. Usually 500 pounds does not feel that. 500 pounds does not feel that light. Well, it's 500 pounds, but when I'm doing it in training, it's usually like an RPE 7-ish, 7.5. This was like, I want to say it felt like a 6.5. I couldn't have picked a better weight. Well, Will and I couldn't have picked a better weight. It was perfect. Then we headed into 534. Notably, that was really light, but we only had 4-ish guys in our weight class, so there wasn't a lot of rest. It was pretty much go and go. So It was like headed into 534. That went really well. I'll put a video of it in here. And then essentially then it was time for like the third attempt. I was going to shoot for 550-ish. Because of the lack of rest time and like trying to catch my breath, we decided 545 instead, which I'm still happy with. I hadn't hit anything over 535. That was like my PR going into this meet, my best squat. And I ended up hitting 545, pretty solid. I think if I had a little more rest time, it would have moved better, but I mean, I can't complain. That was 3 white lights and it was on the total. So it's perfect.
Let's go, Davis!
Come on, buddy, let's go. Easy lift. Come on. Walk out strong.
Go.
There you go. Get tight.
Come on. Go.
Yeah. Let's get Come on, Cole. Hold this thing. You walk it out strong, you get tight. Step it out. Let that bar settle.
Let's go, Davis.
Get your win. Let's go to work. Come on. Come on.
Okay, so heading into bench after third attempts, I was pretty tired. My left knee was like kind of crying a little bit, but nothing like no injuries or anything like that. And I was ready to go at this point. I was there, and you know what? Seeing Keegan go out there and absolutely demolish it kind of like helped sort of reciprocate like the energy. So it's like I'd go out there and I'd cheer for him really heavily. He'd cheer for me, and we just like feeding off each other the entire time. And then Will also, being the coach that he is like, you know, he's making sure I don't touch weights. He's making sure I stay rested. He's making sure I'm eating Sour Patch Kids, getting carbs in, drinking water. Like he's micromanaging everything so I could just go out there and do the best that I could do. Openers came up 275.5. This is a weight that I've pretty much been stuck around for like an opener. But still PR. I opened with all PRs, by the way, if I didn't preface that before. So every single lift that I did was immediately a meet PR total. So I think in total I added like, I want to say 160 pounds or like 72.5 kilograms to my total in this meet alone. This was like the first meet where it meant business. So I ended up opening with 275.5, which my best ever previous was 270. And that was really fun because it's like, you know, no matter what, you're gonna at least better yourself on the total. So it's you're looking towards progress. It makes you feel better about yourself. Went out there, handled it, executed it. It was all business. I go into bench like it's all business. I don't want to get excited or anything because I'll jump a rack command or I'll even better, I'll jump a press command and then I'll be in real big trouble. Yeah, so went out there, just handled business, and I'll put that video in here real quick. Okay, so then second attempt was 292, and that was a big jump for me because that was something that I didn't even hit in training, but it felt so damn good. I was like, I need to have this. To be fair, I got a little jacked up, and this is exactly what happens when I get jacked up. If you look at the video, I ended up hitting the rack on my right side of my press as I was coming down. I hit the bottom safety. It was supposed to be down farther. I guess they didn't change it, which it's, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because I should be able to press that weight no matter what. But I hit that rack and it just kind of threw me off. The left side came up better than the right side did. I failed it. I was like, let's go. We gotta try it again. And I actually was talking with another guy in my weight class, and we were kind of like feeding off each other's energy, kind of like nemesis energy. Because he was hitting the same weight and he failed his second attempt on it as well. And I was like, hey, like, you and I were locked in a battle now. And he was like, all right, one of us has got to get it. And I was like, I really wanted it to be me. So I was going up first. So I was ahead of him. And I hit it. He didn't. Don't worry. Like, I'm not being conceited. He kicked my ass in deadlift, like, after this. But it was pretty fun to have somebody around the same weight and just have a little bit of extra push. I wanted it really bad, and I got it. So on my third attempt, I came back. I executed, kept everything in line. Didn't hit the rack this time and finally got it. Still wasn't very pretty, but we can work on that, you know?
Come on, bud, let's go. Stay tight. Squeeze that bar.
Go.
Chest up. Eyes up. Let's go. Up, up, up. Come on, Cole. Keep them scabs tight. Eyes up. Eyes up.
Come on.
Back.
Heading into deadlifts, this is where shit gets interesting, okay? So, was in the warm-up room, was not paying attention, was goofing around. This is usually how bad things happen. I mean, everybody's heard the story of the guy who wasn't paying attention and something happens. Like, I believe, like, there was a UFC event, this guy tripped over a cable and tore his ACL. Like, talk about the worst timing and the worst possible thing that could happen. But right before deadlifts, right when I got to go up against this heavy hitter, his name's Tim, goes UWL, absolute savage. But had to go up against a heavy hitter in deadlift. I made a little leeway in squat and bench, and this guy and I were kind of vying for first place in our division. This kid it was his first meet. He's an absolute force of nature. So I was like, I got to bring my A game. I'm getting all like psyched up. We're talking smack to each other. It's going back and forth in a fun way, right? I ended up not paying attention during one of my warm-up sets, and I must have got a stinger or something on my butt. It was like my lower back and my right butt cheek were really, really hurting. I was like, oh God. And I was opening at 474, and I heard it on like 308, which is like the most demoralizing thing. I'm freaking out. I'm like talking to Will. I'm like, we need to change my opener. I'm panicking. I was not telling anybody that I hurt myself, though. I was not about to make that excuse. I was not about to be that guy. It ended up going well. I'll just ruin the surprise for you right now. It ended up going well, so it doesn't matter now that I come out and say, like, I busted myself a little bit, had a stinger, whatever. I found out that if I could keep it in the right position and keep the bar as close to my body as possible and it didn't get out in front of me, it wouldn't hurt my back. So I was really babying it, but we changed my opener from 474 down to 440. And I just said, I was like, if this goes well, we'll take big jumps and we'll still see if we can hit. Because my goal was 500. I wanted 502-ish. So first attempt came in, 440. I'll put the video in here.
Oh my God! Yup.
It moved really well. That's the thing, is I went in there and I just blocked it out. I didn't want to even think about like what could possibly happen. Didn't think about failing. Just went in there, did the best I can execution wise. I had so much adrenaline in my body I didn't even realize. Like, I felt pretty much fine by that point. I was moving, I was drinking water. I cut my warm-up sets short because this is essentially like a warm-up for me. In training, I hit 440 is like middle grounds between like 407 and 473, 463-ish. Decided to take the big jump, went 20 pounds, took the middle ground between 500 and 440. So we went about 468, 470-ish.
Let's go! Let's go, buddy! Come on, Paul. Get up, get up, get up! Yeah, there we go.
ended up going better than expected too, and I told Will ahead of time. Well, Will told me is more like what actually happened, but I agreed with him. We were going to take the big Hail Mary jump to 502 if 468 moved that well, which is like, I mean, 30-something pound jump, 34-pound jump. I'm not used to those. I don't do those a lot. I do around 20-pound jumps and deadlift. I was like, it's the last attempt. I went, what was it, 7 for 8 at that point in time. I was like, you know what, Hail Mary. So 468 moved well. It moved about as textbook as my deadlift moves. I'm not a very consistent deadlifter at all. That's definitely my weak point. I would say like my bench and my deadlift are both weak points, but it's definitely weaker on the deadlift because that's going to put more on your total. So point being, it moved textbook. I was like, you know what? We're going to 502. I was like, it's Hail Mary attempt. Tim's talking to me. He's like, oh, let's see it. Come on, we gotta pull 500. And I'm like, yeah. I didn't tell him that I was hurting at the time, but so then he was going up to he smoked like 550, and he was in the lead. We were only 11 pounds apart on total, so it was really a battle like all day. And he's a good squatter too. He doesn't really have any weak points, which is pretty scary for somebody coming in on their first meet to go and take first and to dominate like that. That's the sign of like a good power lifter. So yeah, keep an eye out for that dude. But yeah, so I was all nervous. I was nervous again. I thought I was going to be fine after squats, and then the butterflies came back, but I just kind of put on my poker face. I was like, let's just go out there. If you get it, you get it. If not, but everything goes into this because it is like, this is what you train for. You know what I mean? You don't have anything to save in the tank because what does it matter? This is what you train for. This is the moment where it matters. So I was like, went out there. I'm pulling. I'm like, man, this is heavy. And then it finally breaks the ground. Now in the video, it doesn't look like eternity, but it felt like it. Like I was sitting there. Oh my God. Like, I was just like, when is this going to come off the ground? It finally did. And then the talcum powder that was on my legs just took over and it just came up. And I like could not stop the guttural scream that came out of me. I was like, barbarian. Like it was a pretty blessed moment. Like I freaked out after.
Come on, Cole, let's go.
Come on, Cole. Let's go.
Come on, buddy, let's go. Strong. Here we go. Rip this thing. Come on. Let's go. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
There's no business I should have pulling that. Like I thought I was going to be hurt. I thought I was going to be problem. Pulled 500 anyways. I never wanted something so bad in my life. Like I kind of needed that pull. So yeah, ended up overall really good meet. Added on to the total. Now we're leading into deload and kind of fixing my broken body. My legs were really sore after the meet, like ungodly sore. Just laying around, couldn't move, couldn't get out of bed the next morning. Being a wimp in general, using a massage gun on my leg and almost crying because I just, that pull was pretty much everything I had like left in the tank. It was, I don't even know how I pulled it. There must have been like 10 angels pulling on the bar as well is what it felt like. So yeah, that's my meet recap. Now I'm going to film some deload footage. I'm trying to get into this whole YouTube thing. I'd appreciate the support. I'd appreciate likes. I'd appreciate subscribes. If you know me, I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to beg for it. But I do appreciate the support that I get on my Instagram. I appreciate the support that everybody comments on my posts, everybody that I've competed with, that we've kind of become friends. It's a great community. All the people at Limitless, all the people that helped out with the meet, Will, Lemieux Training Systems, Craig, he's like the head trainer of the team that I'm on. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi when it comes to lifting. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that came out, all my family members, everybody that helped out, everybody that handled, everybody that helped with the meet, all the judges and whatnot. And yeah, look forward to seeing all you guys in my YouTube comment section, hopefully, telling me that I'm still small and I can stay down because I'm not at nationals yet. But that's the next goal. So qualifying for CNATs 2023 or 4. We'll figure it out.